Hello. Have you not subscribed yet to our channel, Deadlight Dreams? I'm asking you now. Please, subscribe. Your subscription is essential to help our channel grow stronger and stronger. Come on, I'm waiting for your subscription. Deadlight Dreams, a letter to make you think. Reflect on the changes that life brings. Suddenly, something transforms. It changes sometimes from bad to better, or even from better to just good. You need to hear this letter to understand what I'm talking about. My mother's curse. Not even after I die will I leave you in peace. That's how my story begins. But I ask you, please don't mention my name or my mother's, because I'll talk a lot about her, and my family would crucify me if they knew it was me. Only those who lived with her, like I did, truly know what kind of person she was. I started working very young to help my parents. At 14, I got pregnant by my boyfriend, and he moved in with me at my parents' house, a rented place. Time went by, and I had 2 more kids. So there I was, 3 children at the age of 20, working hard with no time to care for them. My mother, a true warrior despite being disabled, looked after the kids and helped around the house. She was my rock. After my 3rd daughter was born, I separated from my husband. He had started drinking and gambling, and the arguments became constant. I was struggling to raise 3 kids. My dad and I kept fighting for our family. Thankfully, we no longer had to pay rent. My mum had been attending CDHU housing meetings and was selected. My dad and I joined the construction task force, working every weekend for 4 years. Soon, we had our little house. Me, my parents, my brother, and my 3 children. Life was tough. We lacked many things, but we kept going. Eventually, my mum decided to sell the house. We couldn't finish the renovations, and there was never enough money. We sold it and bought another place nearby. I was still alone. Had a few flings, but nothing serious. Then I met Pauline. My mum immediately disapproved. He was only 18, and I was 27 with 3 kids. She would say, "You should be focusing on your children, not chasing after some boy, especially one younger than you. What are you thinking? You have no sense." Pauline came from hardship, one of 9 siblings. His family had very little, but I stayed with him, even against my mother's wishes. I was a supervisor at a company and got him a job there, as well as one for his brother and sister. Their lives started improving. Over time, my mum's heart softened, and Paulinho moved in with us. I had a beautiful baby with him, my 4th child at that time. My youngest daughter was 10, my oldest 13, and my son 12. Now we had a newborn. Everything seemed perfect, or so I thought. Then came the first big fight between my mum and Pauline. He wanted to get us our own place, to live independently with our kids. But my mum wouldn't accept that. She believed he was trying to take me away from her and my father. And I always felt guilty about leaving them. That's when she started believing Paulinho wanted to separate us. We stayed anyway. After that fight, my mother began to hate Paulinho deeply. The arguments were relentless, and I felt torn. My father would say, "Go, daughter, live your life. You know how your mother is." But my mum cried, and she cried and cried, just at the thought of me leaving with the kids. She smashed furniture, manipulated me emotionally, and I kept staying, blaming myself, feeling like trash if I ever thought of leaving them behind. Because of her disability, she walked with difficulty, had chronic pain, and insisted, "You have to take care of me for the rest of my life." She put this burden on me, on top of raising kids and managing a marriage. I also had to care for her. Until her final day, the arguments between her and Paulinho never stopped. He stayed for my sake, but nothing he did was ever good enough for her. Then my dad fell ill, diabetes and high blood pressure, and passed away on March 8, 2011. I suffered deeply from that loss. He was always so supportive. May God have him. My mother's health got worse, yet the conflicts with Paulinho didn't end. She begged me to leave him. "I hate that man," she would say. "You need to separate from him." Paulinho no longer spoke to her, but we stayed, because she would emotionally blackmail us. She even threatened suicide if we left, and I, terrified she might actually do something, stayed. Living in hell in 2015, my eldest daughter got married. Soon after, my 22-year-old son got involved with drugs and was arrested. My life was just sorrow. I fought for 2 years until he was finally released. Thank God, with all this, plus my mother's hatred of Paulinho, I felt like a prisoner of my own mother. She always said we ignored her, but it wasn't true. Nothing we did was ever enough. I even brought a psychologist to talk to her at home. She cried, screamed, kicked the psychologist out, and then she shouted at me, "If you think I'll leave you in peace, even after I'm dead, you're wrong. I will ruin your life, even after I die. I will not let you rest." That's when Paulinho and I finally found our house. We were about to sign the rental contract, but on that very day, my husband was laid off, and I couldn't afford rent alone. Guess what? My mum celebrated. She laughed. She was happy that we couldn't leave. After that, living there became a real hell. She fought with us over anything. My brother even tried reasoning with her. Sometimes it helped for a day or two, but soon she'd go back to being the same dot. Then, on March 10th, 2019, a Sunday, I woke up early, bought bread, and invited everyone to have breakfast together. I called my mother. She took a while, but eventually came. And when she saw us all waiting, she screamed, "Get away from my table. No one sits until I eat and get up." So we all walked away, each holding a cup of coffee and a piece of bread. She didn't even eat, just yelled that we were mistreating her that day. I lost it. I shouted back, "I'm moving out. Even if it's to a one-room shack, I'm leaving this hell. I want peace." I left the house crying, not even wanting to return. I only came back at night. Then, on the morning of March 12th, 2019, I heard a noise like someone falling. My daughter ran to check, and there was my mum on the floor, crawling and unable to speak. She had faked illness before, but this time felt different. I rushed to her. Her eyes were wide open. She could barely move. I changed her clothes on the floor, carried her in my arms, put her in the car, and drove to the hospital. This time, it was real. She was rushed to the ER. Soon, the doctor told me she's likely had a serious ischemic stroke. We'll confirm with an MRI. I panicked, called my brother, my kids. The whole family gathered. She was loved by everyone, except with me, where things were different. After 3 days in the hospital, she suffered 3 cardiac arrests and another stroke. Doctors called me in. We've done everything, but she didn't make it. She passed on March 15th, 2019. I was devastated. Despite all the fights, I loved her. She was my mother. After she died, I couldn't be alone in the house. I felt her everywhere. Remember when she said not even in death she'd leave me in peace? I think she meant it. Or maybe it was just in my head. But I felt her presence in every room. My grandson would say, "Grandma is lying on your bed. Don't you see her?" He kept pointing her out in the kitchen, the living room. I started to lose my mind. Then I found peace in Jesus. I began attending Bola de Neve Church, and the presence of God restored me. Now, 5 years have passed. I miss her. I miss my dear dad. There were many fights, yes, but I don't even know what arguments feel like anymore. Thank God, we are at peace. I write you this letter, Deadlight Dreams, to talk about longing, to say I'm sorry if I ever failed my parents, especially my mom. I never left her alone, took her everywhere, and yet she never appreciated it. Before she passed, she told my brother I'd throw him out of the house. She tried to destroy our bond. She told him I didn't love him, but I just don't tolerate wrong things. In this house, we have rules. We live in harmony and respect. Wherever she is, I hope she sees how well we live now, in peace, in love, in unity. With this story, I hope she can finally rest, that she's found peace. We must honor and respect our parents, but also as mothers. We must not stir up our children's wrath, because today's children may not have the same patience I had. Thank you, Deadlight Dreams, for telling my story and my mother's curse. Not even in death will I give you peace. A story from the channel, Deadlight.